What up, friends? Welcome to the forest. I'm Papaschu, and we're doing Raid Shadow Legends. Tonight, I got some shards to open for Ancient 2X, and let's get started. Get my screen up here. Oh, yeah, I wish I could move my thing around. So, how you guys doing tonight? So far, I got nobody watching. Get through some of the initial stuff from reset while waiting for anybody to join us. Get on channel 0. Let's see if I have any extra blue shards in the market today. Doesn't look like it. I've got a red dot over here. What do we got? Doom Tower. I got something to do in Doom Tower. Oh, yeah. We'll get to that later. Did I tell you guys I got the fusion? The new fusion? Navarro, the Web Diviner. It's got a 28% speed aura, and that's for arena battles. I think that would have been nicer if it was for all battles. Her Theridine visions for every 8 buffs the enemy team receives increases turn meters of all allies by 20%. For every 16 buffs this champion and their allies receive, heals all allies for 20% of their max HP. And that's on a passive, so that's a pretty good passive. Revives an ally with 50% HP and 50% turn meter. Then places a perfect veil on all allies except this champion for 2 turns. Also places an unkillable buff on this champion for 2 turns because she's the only one not under the perfect veil, so the enemy has to attack her. And these buffs will be replaced even if no allies were revived. It's kind of like yeah, I got name forgetfulness here. One I don't have. It's kind of like Rector Draft. Puts that perfect veil on everybody. The perfect veil, if you don't know, reduces damage taken. Then her A2, places a strengthen buff on every and a 50% increased resistance buff on all allies for 2 turns. Also equalizes the HP levels of all allies. The HP levels of all allies will be brought up to the level of the ally with the highest HP. So if you got somebody with full strength, she's going to bring everybody up to full strength. That's a great heal. Attacks one enemy, places a fervor buff. Now you guys don't know what a fervor buff is. Yeah, scroll way down. Increases damage inflicted by 10% and reduces damage received by 10%. So that's her A1. She puts a buff. Not too many champs have a buff for their A1. So she plays a Fervor champ buff for 2 turns on a random ally, except for this champion. If the randomly selected ally is already under a Fervor, places on another random selected ally. So every turn she goes, 1, 2, 3, you'll fill up your champs with the Fervor. And then she got a passive effect. Allies under Fervor buff have a 50% chance of joining attacks of other allies with a Fervor buff. This champion will not join in any attacks if the multiple champions on the team with this skill, only one will activate. Skill will not activate on duplicate copies of this champion, etc. She's I've tried her once or twice already. She does pretty good. All right, so let's get to it. So I pulled her. Oh, let's see. Got some free stuff. Yeah, good. I got an extra ancient shard to play with. I've got 740 gems. I could go to the gem shop and buy three more, but hopefully we'll get lucky with what we've got. I'd prefer to keep it as it is. All right, 22. Just out of the way. Hopefully it didn't do it. So our targeted champion boost and a 2 times chance of epic and legendary champions. Our champion for the boost is Glorious Palace. Let's go over hers. If we have, gives us a shield on a, I believe that is a passive. Maybe not. Yeah, it's a passive. Whenever an ally receives a debuff, places a shield on buff on that ally equal to 20% of the max HP, fills the turn meters of all allies by 15% at the end of this champion's turn. Your 83 revives all dead allies with 50% HP and 50% turn meter, places a 25% strengthen buff and a 30% increased speed buff on all allies for 3 turns. Now you see that's a 7 turn A3, but if you book her, she bring that down by 3 more turns. So that's actually a 4 turn cooldown when fully booked. Gift of Phallus, 5 turns, removes all debuffs from all allies, places a block debuff buff and a fervor buff on all allies for 2 turns. Again, we've got a champ with the new fervor buff. Strengthens damage and weakens getting damage. A1, attack 1 enemy and 1 random ally. From the Argonites faction, the ally joining the attack will use their default skill. Heals all allies by 10% if this champion's max HP. Damage based on ATK. That's a pretty good sounding champ. Her aura is a resistance in all battles. All right. So hopefully we can get her. But I'll take any legendary at this point. So let's get pulling. First one. Executioner. Number 2. Another rare. Gladiator attack. Judicator. Plenty of rares. Slither Brute. Castigator. Epic. Big Mama. Armina. Adjudicator. Lone Blade Riyadh. That's a pretty good rare right there. This is he's got a passive. Each hit from his champion deals extra 5% damage. If the target is under decreased defense or weakened, deals an extra 10% damage. If the target is under both decreased defense and weakened. Attacks one enemy 2 times before attacking. Places increased rate, crit rate. First hit has 50% chance of placing a 30% decrease defense debuff for 2 turns. The second hit has a 50% chance of placing a 15% weaken debuff for 2 turns. And then it's a 1. Attacks one enemy 2 times. Each critical hit fills this champion's turn meter by 5%. Down to 14. More rares. Grave Chill Killer. Epic. Ursine Ironhide. He's got 2 bears. Black bear and a white bear. Everybody says the black bear is a little bit better than the other ones. Each hit has a 50% chance of decreasing a target's turn meter by 7.5%. Each hit also has a 50% chance of putting one of the target's skills on cooldown if the target is under a decreased crit rate. And here is a 3. He tries to put that decreased crit rate on. Attacks an enemy 2 times. Each hit has 75% chance of decreasing turn meter by 5%. Decreases turn meter by 10% if the target is under decreased ATK. Don't use him on Bommel. He might be okay if you don't have any other champs. He might be okay to be used for I can't think of his name. The fire guy. Attacks one enemy, has a 35 chance of the Fire Knight. That's what I was thinking. Fire Knight. Attacks one enemy, has a 35% chance of increasing the cooldown of one of the target's skill by 1 turn every hit them. All right, down to 12. Let's keep going. Another rare. Medicus. Marauder. Ugly guy. Shadowkin. Well, that's 3 epics tonight so far. Hellgazer. I'm not too sure about what her kit is. She's only got 69 reviews. They're all good, though. What does she got? Increases allies' attack. In faction crypts. Attacks all enemies. Each critical hit fills this champion's turn meter by 10%. Moves all debuffs from this champion. Places a 50% increased attack on this champion for 2 turns. Grants an extra turn. And this one, if she's not ascended, attacks one enemy. Has a 30% chance of placing a 30% decreased defense buff 2 turns. If you do have her ascended, attacks one enemy has a 30% chance of placing a 60% decreased defense buff for 2 turns. All right, down to 9. Come on. Boom, boom, boom. Lumberer. Food champs. Oh, here we go. What did we get? Another a UDK. He's a dupe, but I'll take him. See, some of you, unless you're new, you're probably familiar with Ultimate Death Knight. Increases this champion's HP, defense, and speed by 10% for each dead ally. So every time one of the other allies dies, he gets stronger. Secondary passive. Whenever an ally is attacked, has a 100% chance of completely blocking one hit, decreasing the incoming damage to 0. This champion will receive that damage instead. It will also redirect any debuff from the hit to this champion. The chance of blocking a hit and redirecting the debuffs increases to 50% if the attacker is a boss. Does not work if the attack on the ally was an AoE attack. Whenever an enemy is healed, heals this champion by 20% of that heal. He's a definite survivor. His A3 places a shield buff and a 15% continuous heal buff on all allies for 2 turns. The value of the shield buff is proportional to this champion's defense. And you definitely want to build him defensively. If I have enough stone skin, I will probably put him in a stone skin set, regardless of the statistics. Attack, his A2 is attack all enemies. Has an 80% chance of placing a 50% decrease attack debuff for 2 turns. Also has an 80% chance of placing a fear debuff for 1 turn on each legendary champion. I don't think I've ever seen him place a fear on anybody. Probably because nobody gives him high accuracy. Let me look into that. Give him some more accuracy than. And then on his A1, attacks one enemy, has a 30% chance of placing a provoke debuff for 1 turn. The chance increases to 55% against legendary champs based on defense. And once you have them booked out, the damage increases by 10% there. The chance of actually placing the debuff goes up by 10%. And damage increases another 10% at 4 books. And the debuff chance goes up to 20% when you get him fully booked. So you're going from 20% to 50%, or 30% to 50% on placing the provoke. Actually, since most of the time you're going to go against a legendary champ, it's going to go up to 75%. Alrighty. Well, we did pull 1 legendary out of it. Let's continue on and see if we get even luckier. We always need some food. Can't get our legendary champs to 60 without that food. Fury Stoker. Oh, another epic. Oh, good one. Deacon Armstrong. A lot of people like him. His aura increases speed in all battles by 19%, kind of like the general speed aura. His unascended A3 fills the turn meter of all allies by 15% and decreases the turn meters of all enemies by 15%. When you do have it ascended to 3 stars, fills the turn meter of all allies by 15% and decreases the turn meters of all enemies by 15%, then grants an extra turn. Attacks all enemies on his A2. Sweeping Retribution has an 80% chance of placing a 60% decreased defense debuff for 2 turns. That is a high chance, 80% chance. And when fully booked, the damage debuff chance, there's what is it, 85 plus 15, that's 100% chance. So once you have him fully booked, and epic champs are easier to book than legendary champs, get him booked up and you got that 100% chance of landing that decreased defense. Plus it goes on a single cooldown, so it goes from 4 turns to 3 turns, and the damage increases by 15%. On his A1, Mace of Contempt attacks one enemy 2 times. Each hit has a 30% chance of placing a leech debuff for 2 turns. If you don't know what a leech is, any champion that attacks a champion with leech debuff heals for 18% of inflicted damage. So he helps out the rest of your team and himself with a leech, and the leech stays on for 2 turns. So your next 2 turns for all your champs get a little bit of healing. Okay, 4 more to go. We're not doing too bad. I call this my lucky account. Hyria? Witness? Can I get a witness? Another epic. Oh boy, I'm getting the epics tonight. Gordon. Again, he's got a speed buff. Only in faction crypts though, but it's 20%. He's in the Banner Lords. His unascended A3 places 50% increased attack buff, a 30% increased crit rate buff, and a 30% increased speed buff on this champion for 2 turns. When you ascend his skill, goes up to places a 50% increased attack buff, 30% increased crit rate buff, and a 30% increased speed buff on this champ for 2 turns, and then grants an extra turn. Is A2. Attacks one enemy, has a 60% chance of placing a 50% decreased attack. Debuff for 2 turns, heals this champion by 10% of the damage inflicted. And his A1 attacks one enemy 2 times, grants an extra turn if the target is killed. So this is one of those, a champ that you want to get really good crit rate on. You want to make sure that he's 100% and give him some good crit damage. He will buff himself with the speed, so you don't really have to worry too much about getting as high speed as you might think about. What you want to do is you want to make sure that he can kill. All right, last one. Whoops, one more to go. And it's a rare from the Demon Skull. Tormentor. All right, that's the shard pulls. Let's see. We can get rid of the advertising here. Let's see what we pulled tonight. Boom. So we got one legendary. You can move him to collection. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 epics. And the rest were all rares. Not a bad night. Not a bad night at all. And again, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to leave comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you'll know when the next video comes out. All right, so we're going to go ahead and finish up my daily quest for tonight. So far, I've only got summon 3 champions, purchase an item at the market. Done. So we're going to get out of here. I might as well collect them. Upgrade a artifact using the filter. Let's see what today feels like. Gauntlets. Hide the set filters. We're only going to do crit rate and crit damage. Scroll on down. Find one we need to upgrade. And there we go to level 8. Now I don't want to use the rares I just got as normal food, so I'm going to go ahead and pull 10 mystery shards. And there's UDK, instant upgrade, include the master vault, include the reserve vault, get all the all the common and uncommon, and upgrade them to 10 slots. We've got 796. I think I'm going to save that. We've got a CBC coming up Tuesday, and upgrading your champions gives you good points. So I'm going to save the rest of the upgrade on him for Tuesday. Same with ascending. Don't know. Might have to work on getting some potions. Got 37, so that's good. I should be able to get a full ascending. The pools got me some points in the tournament over here. Wait for that to open if it will. It's probably going to say it couldn't connect, and I'll have to try again. Do any of you guys have that experience that when you open up the tournaments screens that it takes a long time and won't connect? I believe mine is because I have with the game running, YouTube running, the camera running, that it does takes up a lot of the memory in my computer, and so it doesn't process fast enough, and then the signal times out. So you have to try again. I do have a degree in computer science. Got a couple of pieces of loot here. That puts me at 27th place. So I'm not going to get any of this up here. And I'm not going to use any of the rest of my shards to try to win it. The tournaments we have right now, we have that Champion Chase, we have a Fire Knight tournament, and we have a Sand Devil Turn Attack. We have to fight in Classic Arena 5 times. Let's see if we can find some 5 easy wins. We need the gold medals. We're at 123 right now. We need to get a lot of them. I think that is one of the things that kind of hurts the most. I don't know about you guys, but having to do so many arenas to get the upgrades on the on your in the Great Hall, that you really can't enjoy arena until you've got that all filled in, because you have to get the wins. You can't stand to take a loss, because then you're not getting the gold pieces so you can upgrade your Great Hall. Kind of takes some of the joy out of it. So the only thing you can do, is go ahead and try to take the easiest ones that you can find. All the ones you know you're going to win. Now you see these people putting in the single champion like Arbiter here. The reason you do that are people who have already filled in their Great Hall, and all they're trying to do is get. They want to lower their position in the standings, so they can come back in with some strong teams and win a lot of matches. That's good if you're doing tournaments, especially when it's an arena tournament. So what did I do yesterday? Out here in the forest, we have on Thursday nights we have a country jam where some of us older papas get out there. We meet up in the county runs the show, and we get together and we play country music or any music that you like that everybody else can follow along. There's cowboy chords, three chords. Look at this. Even though this is just one champion, his team power at 107, that one champion right there, Leo, could take my entire team. He's just so overpowered. It's ridiculous. Did anybody say congratulations? Probably not. Wow, it's not even up there. All right, classic arena 5 times. I think I was doing Durham Forest. Switching over to Palace of Arabia. Find some. I got some new champions to work with, so let's get those. Gotta find the end of it. You see, I've got a lot of level 40 epics here. Oh, let's see. Let's get some him in there. Get him somewhat leveled up. So, do you guys have any hobbies other than playing Raid Shadow Legends? Mine is playing guitar. I'll sit here a lot of times and just twiddle while I'm waiting for the game to run its automatically. But you're not here to listen to music. I have another channel for that. Have any of you gotten the boss for this dungeon? Is she any good? Do you like her? Let me know in the comments. This is a good time to remind you that I'm going to be running these on Tuesday and Friday live streaming. You can always pick it up later if you missed the live stream. It's 10 o'clock Eastern time, barring issues going on in my life. Wife is going to be going into surgery next Thursday, so that's going to be a fun thing to do. Not. Now I do 7 multi battles on these for the quest. That's more than enough. But the reason I do 7 is because if I do less or just do the minimum for the quest by the end of the month, I've got a lot of extra fights that I've got to do uh, to make up for the monthly quest. If so, I do 7 of them. It's a not as much time as it would if it was 10, which is actually since I'm using the double would come out to. So this comes out to 14. So of the 500, if you did 10 every day, you would probably fulfill the doing the double runs. You would fulfill the monthly quest of 500. 20 a day for 30 days. That's actually 600. So you'd actually be 100 over. Doing 7 a day gets you really close, and so you only have to do maybe 50 or less fast battles. Go to normal, get them done real quick. And if you're new and you haven't watched my previous episodes, I also run a channel 0 Discord, which is open to everybody. Who you don't have to be a channel 0 list chatter, but if you do, you're welcome, and everybody's welcome to the Discord. That's what we have here on Global. We have International Channel 0. Used to do English Channel 0, but it started getting all these. And that's nice if you're looking for a clan, but if you're just trying to chat with somebody, let's go to Channel 1, for instance. You try to chat with somebody, you can wind up getting a lot of these join clans in between things you're trying to tell everybody. So we go to International Channel 0, and you don't get any of the clan. I mean, we're all in clans already, so we don't really need the advertisement. You do not play Raid. Raid plays you. Boy, somebody got chatty. Wow. All right, so we've got the dailies done. We have pulled our ancient shards. It's been 45 minutes. I think we've got some live arena. How much time we got on that? Let's see if we can get any wins in arena. Got another hour to go. Let's see if we can get a win. See, I'm level 93. I only have 1,857. And I get placed against a level 84. He's got 2,000 wins. Do you think he's a whale? Well, let's find out. Start with Sun Wukong. Monkey King, because he's got 28 aura skill. And then Arby with 30. And then we're going to go with, we're going to put some fear factor in here. Oh, looks like he's got turtles. Nope, I don't want that one. I love her, but don't want her. Not this time. Let's see if he comes up with Leo. If he doesn't, the other three turtles won't hurt me. No, they might. Take away his speed buff, he's going to probably do the same thing. You can't decide. Did not take away my speed buff. That's interesting. He may have his Great Hall all filled in. All right, here we go. Who goes first? He does. I lose. He didn't need that speed aura. I can't remove this buff. Yeah, I've already lost. That was a waste. Yeah, can't put any debuffs on him. I didn't even get these two to go. My one con hasn't even gone yet. Not one time. And down he goes again. Oh, well, that's it. It's over. Try again. 3 times, then I'll get a bot. My arena champs aren't quite the best. Over the past couple of years, I've built most of my teams up to do PVE work. Yeah, closer matchup. Crixia is immune to sleep. If I remember correctly. So who's best to get rid of? We'll get rid of that. No, that's a loss. That's two losses. Let's try for the third. Then I'll get a win. Yeah, I'm not even going to try here. This is this is how the matchups go. Yeah. And he goes first. Took away my buffs, and we're down. Well, I can at least put a debuff on them. Go again. And with that, why isn't it take his debuffs out? His buffs. Wukong should have stolen his buffs. Instead, he got transferred to somebody else, I think. I don't know Gazar. I don't know what he does. That's the thing. Not being a whale or kraken, I don't have all the champs to pick from, and you really don't. Unless you have them, you don't really know what they do sometimes. All right. Well, let's see. I'm gonna put him there to get deleted. And take away the speed aura. Now this is a bot, so it's just random. Notice all the champs were ones you get for free. Attacks all enemies, double deals double damage to enemies whose ACC is lower or higher. You can do two ways with him. Either build him with high accuracy or low accuracy. One way it ignores defense, the other way it does double damage. And there's my win for the night. I've got one more. Let's give it one more. Got 3 minutes to go. So one win out of five. Yeah, 95 to 1,000. It's a loss. I don't even have to try. Is he just going to let it go while I go to sleep here? Let's see. Yeah. Yeah. He's hedging his bet on defense there. Oh, let's see. Let's put some a little bit more damage in here. We're going to take away that UDK. Leave him with two healers, two revivers, and he leaves me with no revivers. He took his 19% speed aura instead of the 28% speed aura. And he still goes first. Oh well. All right, everybody. It's fun night. We got some good pulls tonight. We'll get them. Get got our legendary. And you guys have a good night. We'll talk to you later. Doo-dee-doo.